Welcome, everyone, to another episode of A World of Chaos. We have a guest with us today. We're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite episodes of The Simpsons. I have a great guest with me, one of my best friends in the whole world, Kamikaze Kev. Kev, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
Your camera went out.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list, bro.
I got you. All right. So, real quick, Kev, where can the people find you? What is your social media?
On Facebook, it's Kevin Russ. On Instagram and on Twitter, it is __ kamikaze 007. And find me on Clubhouse at Kevin Russ.
I gotta get that clubhouse thing popping. It's just sitting there in my inbox. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I know we've been trying to do this episode for a couple weeks, and the schedule has been crazy. Um,
Man, a couple weeks ain't a joke.
real quick though, why the Simpsons? Like, we've been talking about doing an episode of my show for a minute, and you're probably the only other person I know that loves top tens and top fives as much as I do. What about the
Right?
Simpsons to you? Makes it one of your favorite shows. I know you're like me; it's in your top, at least your top five all-time favorite shows.
Absolutely. What it is the fact of the matter is that the show literally been out since I was a kid, and it's still going strong.
Sure.
Still going strong. Like it was times my grandmother would tell me, "Oh, y'all can't watch this. Y'all cannot watch this." Like
Right.
so to the from season one all the way to
What?
season
30.
32.
Yeah, 32 now. Yeah, it was edgy.
30
It was
man,
edgy
it's
back. Yeah,
it's
back in the
crazy.
'80s, that was it was edgy back then.
Man, you're
Some of the
like,
stuff they
that's
saw.
what I'm saying. Like so I'm literally only 4 years older than the Simpsons.
I am 3.5 years older than The Simpsons, and I actually remember. I think I got into them probably about season two. Is my earliest memory. I know I don't really remember too many episodes from season one, but I remember catching the reruns of the Tracy Ullman show, which they premiered on as little vignettes in between the sketches.
Yes.
And then they just became so popular, they just spun them off into their own show. And it's probably my top five favorite shows. I mean, I've said that for years. Whenever I've always said, whenever I make a top 10 list, I do what I call desert island rules. If I'm
Yeah.
stuck on a desert island for a year, what is the stuff I want when it comes to content? And
Well,
number one is
you
going
got
to be The
30,
Simpsons.
you got 32 seasons to do
Yeah, so
it.
as long as I got Wi-Fi and a battery, I think I'll be all right with the minimum just The Simpsons alone.
You-
I
well, you
think
know
it'll
what?
be
As much as I love The Simpsons, would you put me on Rick and Morty like you did? They have to move. They moved in front of The Simpsons because I haven't watched Simpsons in the last couple years.
I'm telling you, man, rubber lubber dub dub. Tell you, man, like that's another episode. I'm gonna bring in a couple other people I know. Shout out to Devin. I got him. I think I've helped influence his nerdhood over the last year too, because I got him into Rick and Morty and I got him into Star Wars. So I'm gonna have Dev on for
And the
episodes on
curb,
those. Right. So
curb your enthusiasm.
I, I I tell you, man, like I've said it for years. Curb is Seinfeld is my favorite sitcom of all time, and Curb is right up there because it's just cringe at its best. It's great writing, and it's been a handful of episodes to where just the way they circle back around at the end to button the episode with a joke or a punchline or Larry just getting his comeuppance in some way. And I forget it's a couple episodes where I literally just sat back like, wow, like that I did not see that coming. That is genius comedy writing. So
So
it's up that's up there too. That's probably going to be another future episode because what I want to do with this series on the channel is just talk about the stuff I love. I'm doing another series of shows that I'm just getting into. One of those is like Breaking Bad. That episode should be coming out
um,
soon. The Office, that's going to be one. Game of Thrones is going to be one. Stuff that
you know what?
was
I've
popular I
I've
never
never
got
seen
into.
that one. I've never seen one episode of The Office.
I will say this: it is polarizing. I would say I haven't got. I've seen one season, like a season and a half of Game of Thrones, but it's still foggy. So me rewatching again is probably gonna be good to really like help remember stuff. I've been able to avoid spoilers for the most part. I do know some stuff that's happened, but I've been able to avoid probably some pretty good spoilers. I would imagine for Game of Thrones. With The Office, it's a lot to get through. I mean, as we're recording this right now in the just part of the end of January almost, I got into The Office last month because Netflix was putting them uh, out. They sold them out to Peacock, the NBC streaming service. So they were
But
leaving
think about that.
Netflix on
You
the
said you
31st.
said you said it's a lot. But think about this. Freaking uh Supernatural has 23 episodes and 15 seasons. I
Nope.
stopped at season 9. I don't want
Nope.
to watch it no more.
I'm gonna say that when I come with the format, but I'll probably just give y'all a little preview now. But there are some shows that I am not going to be reviewing. Supernatural is one of them. Grey's Anatomy is another one. I'm
Oh
just
man.
not doing it because there's just too many episodes.
Criminal Minds, and Law and Order.
Yeah, there's some shows, and I'm gonna leave up a poll. Start putting a poll on the Facebook. Which also, if you're not following me on Facebook, you should. Kyle J Campbell on Facebook. You can also find me as one of your admins and one of the co-hosts of the Wakanda Black Nerdcast. Is this page and podcast and YouTube channel? You should subscribe to there. Also, we have weekly podcasts coming out there. Also, and maybe some new mini content coming out there soon. You can also make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment on what is your favorite Simpsons episode or one of your favorite moments of the Simpsons, because everybody's grown up with the Simpsons. It's usually something that you had part of your childhood, and probably as you got older you just left it alone, maybe came back. I kind of went out of the Simpsons probably about a good like 10 years ago. I just stopped regularly watching them. But it's still something I love. I do now, when I watch The Simpsons, do tend to go back to what is kind of referred to as the golden era between seasons 3 through 9 of The Simpsons, to where you had a lot of their best writers that they ever had. You had Conan O'Brien, you had Josh Oakley and Weinstein. You still had input from Sam Simon, who is probably the most unsung person, the godfather of The Simpsons, with his
hey,
influence
hey,
on them.
but you know what? One of my favorite episodes that I did not put on my list came from season 3,
Really?
and that's the Mr. Plow episode.
That was I know we're only going to do a tight 10. We're not going to do any honorable
Yeah,
mentions. If we were doing at least 5 honorable mentions, Mr. Plow, that one that one's up in there. That one's
yeah.
up in there. And now that I'm thinking about it, I actually, let me look at
Have
my
it on your
list.
list.
I'm probably now going to take one episode off of my top 10 and replace it with another one. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll take that off. So okay, so we both agree that Mr. Plow was going to be honorable mention. Give me one more of your honorable mentions, and then I'm going to say one that was on my list that I'm now removing from my list is going to be my honorable mention.
Mm,
So what is your
mm.
one of your honorable mentions of, and we might revisit this list further on down the line, because with over 700 and I think 30 episodes, there's a lot to pick from, and there are still some great episodes in the later seasons. I just, the ones that always hit me were the ones when I saw when I was a child, and it influenced my, probably my comedic timing and everything, and the way I think of comedy influenced it. But what is a one honorable mention of yours of one of your favorite episodes?
The episode where I don't know the name of the episode, but I know Lisa was falling for Ralph. No, Ralph was falling for her.
Oh God, yeah,
Oh,
man. Will you
oh my goodness.
choose me?
Yeah, that
And
one.
you see her break his little heart.
Yes, yes,
Oh
yes,
man,
yes,
yeah. You know
yes.
what though? I think around that time, I think I was in shit. I know I was in grade school. I don't know what grade it was. I was young. I was around their age when that
Right.
came out, and I remember. I think I had a crush on somebody there, and I think it was similar to where, like, you know what it was? It was after I'd had a crush, but the thing that gave me a flashback to it is because in our homeroom back then, for the kids that don't know what that is, when we had that one room we always went to in
Whoa,
school,
homeroom.
for Valentine's Day, you used to have those mini mailboxes on everybody's desk, and the cards
Right?
you wrote, you would just drop it in the girls like thing. And I remember, I remember having those flashbacks. Like I remember the anxiety of walking past the girl I like's desk and putting that little thing in there and seeing how fast she got it to take a look at it. She looked back. Oh man, like that's trauma. That's trauma.
Yeah, I always remember. I always remember that episode. Like if I don't know the name of the episode, I remember what happened in the episode.
Right. Let me see. All right, so that's season 6, episode 16. So let me see. Give me a second.
The benefit of having two phones, I can send my list to my other phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why because I'm shooting this on my take you behind the curtain. I'm shooting this on my actual iPhone now with the backwards camera, with the better camera. Um Front facing camera is great, but the back camera is one of the best cameras in the industry. So that's why I actually have an app that I'm using to synchronize it. So actually, my web camera app is what I'm looking at. I'd be looking at right now, but then I'm actually now recording
Right?
off of my iPhone one, so it's a better quality because my web camera, it's a good camera, but it's a shit. It's shit. So
Well,
my
this
honorable
this
mention,
phone is horrible.
right? My honorable mention of one that I did have on my list is from season 9, episode 1, and that is the city of New York versus Homer Simpson. The
Oh my god!
episode where they get stuck in New York because Barney was the designated driver, borrowed Homer's car, left it in New York, and Homer had to take a trip to New York to get it back. And Homer has the absolute worst experience you can have, and Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie have one of the best New York experiences you can have. That's one of the last ones in season 9. I think that's one of the last like really great episodes where it really just like was just tight writing. Actually has one of my
Right?
favorite songs of The Simpsons too when they go to the musical for Betty Ford. I'm checking in. That is one of the better Simpson songs from back in the day. All right, so we got our honorable
Check it.
mentions.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. All right, so Kev, I'll let you start off. So, what is one of your top 10 favorite episodes of The Simpsons?
So my number 10 would be please Homer don't hurt him. From season
Uh,
18.
which one's that?
Okay, that's the episode where Bart and Christmas Skinner and them were friend with the shrimp and the peanuts.
Oh, right, where Skinner's just baiting Bart with the shrimp on the stick. Oh no,
Yeah,
Bart's baiting
both of
Skinner
them.
with yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's season 18. Wow. Damn, I didn't. And that's the thing.
yes.
Going back and rewatching episodes, it was some that I assumed were like maybe season 10. They were like season like 15, 16. Like I really didn't think that they were that late in the in the series to
No,
be made. I just
that's
had a
season 8.
foggy memory.
That's the yeah that's season 18.
Wow. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start mine off.
Yeah, that's also.
Hmm? No, go ahead.
Go ahead, wait. No, okay, that was also the episode where Marge is doing the carpentry and Homer was taking the credit for it.
Oh man, I forgot. I'm gonna rewatch that
The
episode.
wood carving.
What am I start mine off with? Because I know I got some tight episodes, man. I got some all-time classics on mine. Uh I'm gonna start with one
Right.
that does not get mentioned that often, and it was actually one of the ones when I was thinking about mine. I'm gonna be a homer, not to pardon the pun. I did put some ones that probably everybody's gonna put on the list, at least 3 or 4 of them. This is one that I just always loved, and that I don't think gets that much love, and nobody really talks about. So my first one is from season 7, episode 25, Summer of 4'2".
Oh my god.
That's the episode for y'all that don't know. That's the episode where the family goes to their summer home. Like I guess they're trying to make like a Cape Cod type home, and or Atlantic City. And Lisa wants to reinvent herself over the summer. She becomes the cool kid, gets in with the cool kids, and Bart is left as the outsider. He's awkward. He's trying to make himself the cool kid, and it just doesn't work. And he comes off more as nerdy. Has some great one-offs from Millhouse. You also have some hijinks with Homer and Marge in there, but that one's great. It's a great Lisa episode. Lisa is probably not in my 5 favorite characters of The Simpsons. I love Lisa Simpson, but I think Lisa does get great one-off episodes. At least she did back in the day when they really understood how to like really get awkward character like her, especially a '90s nerd. But that one just always hits me whenever it
She's
comes on.
she's basically Daria.
Pretty much. Just that nerdy, smart, awkward kid that wasn't mean because she never really, especially in the older days, really didn't come off as too mean, but she was just a smart kid that just got it before everybody else got it. So what's your next one?
Right. Okay. Number 9, I have Krusty Gets Busted. That's the episode where Homer thought he saw Krusty rob the Quickie Mart, but all along it was Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob, the first Sideshow Bob episode, man.
Yeah.
That's a classic, man. That's taking it old school.
Yeah, that also came from season 1.
You know what? I'm gonna just piggyback off of that one then. Mine is gonna be from season 3, episode 21, Black Widower, which is Sideshow Bob's second episode. That is the episode where Sideshow Bob makes his return, marries Selma, Marge's sister, and attempts to murder her. And Bart is the one that actually figures it out. I think Sideshow Bob has probably, I think, like 12 or 13 of my favorite jokes ever. One of my best friends from when I was back in the day, he used to always carry a knife on him, Joe. He used to always carry a knife on him, and we would just do that just for shits and giggles. I know he had his knife on him, and I just look at him. He'd look at me like we were doing a duel, and I pull a spoon out, and he pulls his knife, and he's like, "Huh, I see you played knifey spoony before." Um, that one's just classic. That actually taught me something. I didn't know that water flowed differently on the other side of the equator, so that actually educated me as a kid back in the early '90s. So that actually taught me something.
Majority of episodes are very educational.
Yeah, like you learn some stuff, man. Especially when like was especially weekly required viewing back in the day. This taught you some stuff.
Right.
And that's actually one of the ones I put in when you picked yours earlier, and I had to switch one of mine out. When you picked Itchy and Scratchy Land, I had to take one off. You know what? This is the one I put in that place.
I might have to replace another one if I don't get there before you do, because there's one episode on here I know me and you both got on here.
All right, what's your next one?
The next episode will be King Size Homer. That's when he had to work from home and he gained like 500 pounds. He had walking around that dress on.
Man, that is a classic. Yo, and that's the funny thing too. I saw somebody make a meme about a year ago now when we first started going into lockdown and quarantine, and they're like, you know what? This is actually the goal right now, is to be King Size Homer, because everybody's working from home on their computer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they've been telling the future for years.
Man, Simpsons did it, man. They did it. Oh man, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Okay, man. This is 1, 2, 3. This top 4, man. This is when we came up with the idea to do this list. The first, my next 4 are the ones that they were my first 4 that I thought of.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Because the top my 4 is the only ones I thought of originally, like off the bat. Especially number 1. Number 1 is like my all-time favorite.
All right, so we got 5 left. The next one, this one's probably like, this one's up there. This is up there with like after I thought of these next four, this was the next one after that. Mine is
Right.
from season 7, episode 2, Radioactive Man.
Oh, bro, I gotta take it off my list.
I knew you were gonna have that one.
Told you. That's actually my number 4 as well, sir.
I knew it was gonna be on there. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Act-
saying.
Actually my number 4 as well.
So yeah, Radioactive Man. That is the episode where the movie industry is making a Radioactive Man film, and they decide to film in Springfield. Bart is his life's mission to become Fallout Boy, Radioactive Man's sidekick, and Milhouse actually gets it. Milhouse is actually, in full disclosure, Milhouse is my second favorite character on The Simpsons, so I love a Milhouse centric episode. So this one was really great to show Milhouse shine. Is a great episode with a lot of great gags. It actually was really almost kind of ahead of its time because one of the plot lines in the early part of the episode is finding out who is going to play Radioactive Man, and the internet nerd community were the ones finding
Right.
out about it and posting it on early versions of 90s blog boards. That's what
Right.
I do now. Like that is a major part of my life now is that industry. So it's just funny to see watching it retroactively. Like that's what we do now, but they predicted nerds just talking about movies online and finding out scoops of
Right.
who's
20,
playing
20
who.
years in advance.
Like it just shows how ahead of the time they are. It has one of my other favorite all-time Simpsons lines where the acid is coming toward a Radioactive Man, and they tell him just to put his eyes and his goggles over his eyes, and the acid gets him. He's
Oh
like,
my
"My
god.
eyes, the goggles do nothing." That is.
I think you
I think
just
I
tagged
tagged
me
you
in
in
that,
that
didn't
gif.
you?
Huh?
You did.
You
You
know
just tagged
that's
me.
funny. I knew we were gonna be talking about the Simpsons today, but in my Facebook
Oh my
memories, I
god.
posted that like a year ago. Like that is one of my favorite Simpsons
Oh my,
gifs.
it's funny.
All right, now we're
It's
in our
hilarious.
top 4. So what is your next one?
Man, that was my 4. So I have to. Okay. The one. Okay. I don't know what episode it was. I don't know what episode, but it shows a young Bart and Homer and Lisa. They were like, Marge was like, he had tired himself out. He was on a clothes line going round and round naked, and
Ah,
Lisa, and yes,
I
she
know what you're
said,
talking about.
then
That is,
she, yeah, I'll forgot the name of the episode, but she was real young. He was real young, and they was like, he got tired himself out, and he was like, boy, get out of there. He kept on going like, woo,
if I
woo.
remember correctly, and I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. And let us know what episode that was. I believe that is Lisa's first word because it was since it was a flashback episode of Maggie's first word. I think that might have been Maggie's first word. It was one of those where they retroactively were talking about when they were young. So I know exactly the one you're talking about. Is that the same one where Bart had the big old clown bed that gave him like PTSD?
Yeah, nightmares, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. That's a go. That's yeah, and that's thing. I was surprised. I really didn't put any flashback episodes on here, and there's some of their best episodes is when they do flashbacks or flash forwards, and like you at least had a flash forward with Lisa's wedding, and then that one that's a good pick.
yeah,
Oh man,
yeah.
this is gonna take some juggling.
Top three.
Uh let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 left. I got 4 left. So um
Well,
all right.
I got three left.
Yeah, you're ahead of me. All right, so yeah. All right, so my next one is gonna be from season 7, episode 22. Title of the episode is Raging Abe Simpson and his grumbling grandson in The Curse of the Flying Hellfish. That is
Oh my goodness! Oh, that episode was funny.
that
So
that
funny.
one, man. Grandpa Simpson's probably my third favorite character. Like I love Abe Simpson. Like he is Homer just old. Like he's just an old version of Homer. And that one you get to see him as a young guy being competent in World War II, just being a badass. And that's a Mr. Burns episode. Mr. Burns is probably my fourth favorite character. Actually, I think I would say Mr. Burns is third. I switch them. Mr. Burns would be third, and then it would be Grandpa Simpson. But that's just a great one because it was like, when you're young, your grandparents and or older people can say this and that, and you don't think they're cool, but they're probably cool back in the day. Like you should give them their due. Like just because they're
Right.
old now doesn't mean they weren't badasses back in the day. And Grandpa Simpson was a badass. That's a great Mr. Burns episode with Mr. Burns as
Yeah,
a villain.
Abraham Simpson.
It has a great visual gag where they so
Oh, that is that
uh, what'd you say?
that they dug their grave.
Yeah.
The
Where
episode where they grave together.
no, that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one
Okay.
where they back in the day, Grandpa Simpson, when he's in World War I, they found all the paintings and they entered into a Tunti where the last surviving member of the Flying Hellfish got the paintings. Mr. Burns, who doesn't need them, he's already a billionaire. He's just greedy. Um, and they go on an adventure to get these. Right after Grandpa Simpson and Bart find the safe with them on the ground in the water, they get it up to the boat, and
Right.
Mr. Burns just flicks a flare, and then he just comes right into view. It's actually just like the Darth Vader cameo in Rogue One, where it's just complete darkness and you just have red that just lights somebody up, and it's a badass visual. That is that one is one of my favorite ones. All right, what's your next one?
Number 3 would be from I Love Lisa. That's the episode where it's Valentine's Day. Everybody's passing out cards, but Lisa feels sorry for Ralph. So Ralph automatically thinks that he loves her, that he's in love with her because she on him. So that pity turned to lust for him.
Yeah. Wait, was that what now on your list earlier?
You know what? I think that was my honorable mention.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I knew we were talking about that one. What? Yeah, another one.
It would probably have to be the monorail episode.
Fuck. I guess we're gonna. I guess we're gonna have to talk about because. Well, full disclosure, that was gonna be my number 2 episode. To skip ahead, that was gonna be my number 2. Season 4, episode 12, Marge versus the monorail.
Okay, well, see, that's my number 3. That episode got one of the best musical episodes to me.
Hands down,
one of the best musical episodes of Simpsons since out of all the episodes.
Best Simpsons song ever, hands down. And that's actually an episode that was written by Conan O'Brien back when he was on a writer on The Simpsons. That was the one I think that's the one that like really propelled him like to be famous because everybody loved it. And that's actually kind of referred to as the beginning of the like golden era of The Simpsons because that was the first time they really got like really like just crazy with it because normally it was just an animated sitcom. It was a grounded sitcom. I mean, Bart Gets an F is one of their first episodes where the whole plot is just Bart failing, school. Lisa's substitute episode, stuff like that. Marge and Homer going through relationship issues where he has to throw back that big catfish, all that, grounded stuff. Marge versus the monorail really start off with stuff because I mean, that's season 4, episode 12. The next season, season 5, episode 15, that's Homer Goes to Space. So that started a lot of the crazier aspects of The Simpsons. So that's really the launching point. Like, if you don't want to watch everything in the beginning, that's really an episode really to start at for The Simpsons.
It's like 1 or 2 episodes of each Simpsons that you really got to watch.
That's a top 10 Simpsons episode. All right, so since we both had that one, I'll skip to my next one. I got 2 left. So all right, so I'll skip. All right, so my second one is season 5, episode 25, Who Shot Mr. Burns, part 1.
God damn. That was my number 1, bro. and you know what though? It's crazy because I got Who Shot Mrs. Burns. Actually that was season 6. Season finale turned it going into 7.
Who Shot Mr. Burns? That was
And,
season
and
5. The part 2 was the first episode of season 6.
okay, but I got part two. I got part two. Episode part 2 of Who Shot Mr. Burns. That's my number one.
I love both of those. When I think about, I mean, that was an experience, man. Like you did, for one, I don't think they really hyped it up too much. They had hyped it up, but not too much, to where when I watched it, and then you see Mr. Burns get shot, and then just to be continued, and you're not going to see them for the whole summer. Like I remember collecting, I think it was like TV
Man,
guides or something to send in to vote about who I thought was going to be it. They had a whole like "Who Shot Mr. Burns" campaign.
funny,
Like that was a thing.
funniest thing in the world. The funniest thing in the world. They had the Who Shot Mr. Burns Butterfingers. Man,
Oh
the stores.
man, that takes me back. Oh man, that takes me
Man,
back.
7-Eleven had the cups.
Oh man, I mean, and
Man,
that is a landmark episode right there. I mean, that's when The Simpsons became a national thing where everybody was talking about it over the summer. I think they should really. I mean, they haven't done a to be continued episode since, and I think that was one of their better episodes because, especially, yeah, and I love both of
no,
them.
fuck.
I love part 1 and part 2. I just like the buildup of part 1 a little more because it's just when it's
Yeah,
just
cause
layering everybody like
it,
as potential suspects.
it showed Mr. Burns as the true villain he really is.
And I love the gag where he just does not remember Homer's name. Like he just cannot, just for some reason he cannot retain Homer's name, which had already been a running gag in the 5 seasons previous, because he would
Right,
always ask Smithers, "Who is that dumbling dote?" "Oh, sir, that's Homer Simpson, one of the guys from Sector 7G." Like he just would never remember him, even though he had multiple interactions with the family. Maggie had
right,
had his teddy bear. Marge had painted him. Bart was his heir for a while. Like he had hit him with his car. Like he had
right,
had multiple interactions with his family and just can't remember Homer's name.
right.
And the gag where they
Mm.
send Mr. Burns the candy, and he sends a thank you note to everybody but Homer, and Homer just drops an F bomb. Oh man. All right. So my last one, my number one. We're gonna end it on this one, man.
I got one because since that would have been my number one, so I got
All right.
one.
All right, go with yours. What's yours?
Okay, then I would have to go with which would be my last one would be Cape Fear from season 5. Now,
Hold on real quick. I was really close to putting that one instead of Black Widower for my Sideshow Bob episode. I
let me
actually
tell.
changed it right before we started recording because I'm like, I have to pick one Sideshow Bob episode. Which one do I
I
love
got
more? Do I
2.
love Cape Fear or do I
I
love
have
Black
2.
Widower? And I'm like, I gotta
You
go.
know
I,
what?
I want Black Widower because
I,
it was I remember watching that with my whole family, but Cape Fear was right there, man.
let me tell you what makes Cape Fear like my number one Sideshow Bob episode is the fact that he kept on saying Vendetta, Vendetta.
I love that
His
because
son was like
oh
Vendetta.
no, that's the Italian Bob. Cape Fear is the one where he tries to
Is
kill
it?
them on. Yeah, that's the that with the son.
Oh
That's
no, that's what he tried to kill. He tried to kill him on the boat, right?
yeah. Cape Fear is when he tries to kill them
They
all
had
on the
the
boat.
witness. They had the witness protection.
Yeah, that's Cape
Yeah.
Fear.
Okay.
So is it
That's
Cape
what
Fear or
he
is
kept
it
on
Cape Fear
running.
or the Italian Bob?
Okay. Actually, they both with me, man. But it had to be it's Cape Fear right now because that's the one he kept on stepping on the rakes. Like
That's what,
man,
you know what? And the thing is, like that one as his third appearance, that actually set up a lot of his tropes that he would have for the next like 2 decades because it sets up the rake gag for the first time of him stepping on it. And then
mm-hmm,
that's actually the one that introduces the Sideshow Bob theme that he always has whenever he comes
yeah,
on, that like that orchestra that always comes up whenever he comes on screen.
yeah,
And that's the one I think I think it started in Black Widower, but if not, that's the episode where it starts. The Sideshow Bob. Whenever the kids see him,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one really starts a lot of the ongoing running gags and tropes that would be for Sideshow Bob. But I'm saying that one, it was really close, man. I'm like Black Widower, man. I like the ending of it because Bob like gets caught by Bart. But I'm like Cape Fear, man. Like that's right there. That's right there.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna end it on this one. My number one episode of The Simpsons, season 4, episode 24, Lemon of Troy.
Trent McClure.
That episode is the one for people that don't know. That's the episode where they go into some of the history of the Simpsons of Springfield and the Springfield Shelbyville rivalry. That has it where the Springfield lemon tree gets stolen and
and
taken into Shelbyville, and the kids just go on
oh,
an excursion to get back their lemon tree. I even watched. There's
dude,
a guy on YouTube called I think it's Phil Williams or Justin Williams. If it's not, just look up Lemon of Troy discussion, and he does like a 30-minute video to where he breaks down how that is possibly the greatest episode of The Simpsons, with the writing of that episode that would influence seasons 5, 6, 7, 8, the golden era
what
of how just tight it was.
what tree was it in Shelbyville?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What did they
The,
substitute it for?
what tree was that they had? They was like it was like
Oh,
an apricot tree or something like
a turnip tree.
that. Man,
I love how Shelbyville makes it like the lemon tree was evil when they got it out. So now we just drink turnip juice and they drink it and they just faces just turn sour. I love how like
that's
in
funny.
that episode, like that's one of the ones where you really get to see Shelbyville as a character. They'd just been mentioned a few times,
Yeah,
but like that one where you see like everybody has their own doppelganger, the reverse
right.
version of themselves in Shelbyville. You have instead of Moe's Tavern, it's Joe's. Instead of a groundskeeper Willie, it's groundskeeper Wilhelmina, I think her name is, or something. Like everybody just has their
Yeah,
opposite
well, I mean, yeah,
version. That episode, man, that's probably whenever I just get bored and I just want to just rewatch some Simpsons, that is the episode I go back to first. The first two I go to
you know what?
are Marge versus the Monorail and Lemon of Troy, because there it's just a tight 22 minutes of good gags, great callbacks in that episode. Like they set a lot of stuff up in act 1 that comes back full circle in
I
act
I
3.
I think I'm gonna watch some episodes tonight, start from season 4.
That's what I usually do. Like seasons 1 through 3 have some great episodes. They do. But for me, just as the modern era of The Simpsons, to where it was just joke after joke after joke, and where you really got to see a lot of the external cast. Like, The Simpsons
Yeah,
has the greatest cast of characters in the history of TV. I mean, just to name a few, you got Principal Skinner, you got Krusty, you got Flanders, got Mayor Quimby. They just have some great
dude.
peripheral
So
characters, and
it's
that's where they
funny.
shine.
It's fun. It's funny that they act after all the years they only killed off one character.
Well, no, they killed off Maud, but then they also did kill off Edna Krabappel when the actress passed away, which was really sad.
Well,
But
well,
but just just
well.
but just as a stunt killing, yeah.
That's because she actually passed away. But
Mhm. Yeah, and that's one thing that really was great, because they really did like delve into that over the years since Maud had died. Flanders had started dating, like he had gone through some
yeah,
stuff. He went through a crisis of conscience with the Lord, which was big for his character. And that was worth some really great episodes too. Like Flanders is a really good character. So yeah, I mean,
the episode he moved away from Springfield, and I forgot where he went to. But where he went to, like all the females was on him, whatever.
and the fact that like whenever he takes off his shirt, the dude's got like an 18 pack. Like Flanders is cut.
Right,
Like Flanders,
right,
Flanders is like cut. Like Homer's the big old tub of lard. Flanders, if he ain't at church, he at the gym. He getting his gains in.
right, right. He doing his push ups.
But I appreciate you talking to me about the Simpsons, man, because we're always talking about them anyway, and always throwing in jokes and like group texts and
Right.
stuff. So it was good to get you on the
Side
episode here.
messages
Right. For everybody that doesn't know, again, where can they find you on social media?
on Instagram, Twitter. It's underscore kamikaze 007. On Clubhouse, it's Kevin Russ. On Facebook, it's Kevin Russ. And you can also find me at the Reality Air News.
All right.
Yeah.
As always, I've been your host, Chaos. Welcome to another episode. Well, goodbye from another episode of A World of Chaos. As always, you can find me on all social media at Team Chaos. That's here on YouTube, which you should be hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Leave a comment and let me know some of your favorite episodes. And don't forget to like the video. You can also find me on the Wakanda Black Nerdcast is this YouTube page. And you can also find that podcast on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and more, as well as you can find the audio version of this show on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and more. You can also find me on Facebook, Kyle J. Campbell, and you can find me on the Wakanda Black Nerdcast is this pages, the group and the page on Facebook. As always, thank you for watching. Nerd responsibly.
Peace. All right.